Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
And I'm Mercedes, aka V-Fire.
And today we have a special guest with us.
Hello, I am Momma Sammu.
Do you want to tell us where they can find your stuff online and a little bit about you?
Sure.
But we'll wait on the little bit about you. Just where they can find you for right now.
All right. You can find me as
stuff.
Momma Sammu on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If there's a Momma Sammu, it's me.
And you spell Momma M-O-M-M-A.
Yes.
Okay.
And S-A-M-M-U.
S-A-M-M-U.
All
cool.
the M's.
So yeah, Sam's going to be joining us for this episode. A few things before we get started. We've got, of course, you can reach out to us over email at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com.
Yeah, or you can come over to the website, cosplaystitchandseam.com. We've got a form you can fill out there. You can come say hi. You can comment on the posts. You can also come to the Facebook page.
Yay! Yeah, just search for Cosplay Stitch and Seam on Facebook. There's a Facebook group and there's a fan page. We prefer you join the group because the page is kind of just what we use to post with, but you could also like us on the page. It's fine too. Remember, the group it does wait for mod approval, so if you don't get in right away, we usually get to them though within the hour, so you won't be waiting very long. It's just so we can avoid like spam bots and stuff in the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've only had one spam bot make it through, so.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We try to at least make sure they're human. The other thing is we do now have a coffee if you would like to donate and help us to kind of keep our bandwidth costs low. We are kind of going back and forth on whether or not we want to like look for sponsors or not, depending on if you guys are cool about commercials or not. I mean, we like keeping it commercial free, but bandwidth costs always kind of hit us in the wallet.
We can make a poll in the Facebook group and ask for people's advice.
That is absolutely. So yeah, if you guys have an opinion on that, come see the poll. But yeah, for now, we just have a coffee. If you want to help us make ends meet with our bandwidth, that's on Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, and our tag for coffee is coffee for, the number 4, cosplay seams. So coffee for cosplay seams.
And that coffee is spelled like normal coffee.
Yeah, it's confusing. But if you go to the Facebook group, there's an image with it, like, as our banner. So, yeah. Any other announcements?
I'm all moved into my house.
Yay! Yay, good job.
My craft room is a mess.
Yay! As
it makes me cry.
Oh. I'm trying to think of what upcoming cons we've got. I will be at ECCC here in Seattle. That's Emerald City Comic Con. I will actually be, Sammu will actually be there as well.
Jealous of both of you.
If you want to come by, I'm going to be doing some booth work for Stacy Pitt in the Artist Alley. Come check out her amazing work there. And come say hi, give me your cosplay horror stories, all that fun stuff.
I'm gonna be super shameless. Her art is amazing, and I love it.
It is so good. She's actually done some book covers, and she, I think, might have some stuff with Wizards of the Coast coming out, but yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm gonna get all this stuff. I am, like, one of her biggest fans. I don't know if I'm, like, her biggest fan, because I know she's got a lot of really good support, but, like, I love her stuff.
Yeah! And Sammu, you'll be there too, yeah?
Yes, I'll be at ECCC.
Nice. And SoccerCon too, huh?
Yeah, SoccerCon, and more short coming up, which next weekend, there is a very small con called Chibi Chibi Con at a college campus in Seattle.
Nice. So if you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, check those out. I will be at least at 2 out of 3 of those. If you want to come say hi and give me your horror stories. And then with that, I don't think we have anything else till like Anime Expo in the summertime. But yeah. How about you, Mercedes?
I don't have anything coming up.
Just building stuff.
I'm just hopefully gonna start building stuff. I gotta be able to...
Good.
I literally cannot walk in my room right now. It is...
Oh, dang. Oh dang! Well, we'll actually kind of talk about that in our episode today. So today we're actually talking about motivation. So if Mercedes, do you want to start things off by what kind of got us into this topic?
Yes. So we actually got an email from Crafted Cosplays asking us to talk about like motivation and like different like aspects around it. So I'll read her email for you guys because it was really, really cute.
And thank you for writing into us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, super, super do. I love seeing like requests come in and it's like, yeah, let's do that one. All right. So she says, "Hello, wonderful ladies. I've been zooming through the podcast this whole week at work and I'm both excited to be up to date, but also sad that I won't be able to binge the episodes anymore. I was wondering if y'all would be interested in doing a podcast about making cosplay or getting ready to make a cosplay and then becoming a bit disheartened because you see someone who made the same character outfit and you don't think you can measure up to the craft or creativeness of that person. I sometimes have a hard time finding the motivation when I want to be the best I can be, but I think others have done it better. I know a portion of it is the perfectionist in me, but have y'all had any issues with this? Thank you for the amazing podcast. Please keep up the wonderful work and know that many other cosplayers appreciate the hard work y'all putting in this community."
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jade, aka Crafted Cosplay.
Yeah, thanks for writing in. I thought that was a really good and also relatable topic, so we wanted to dive in and get that one as quick as we could.
Extremely relatable.
And then before we get too far in, Sammu, do you want to say a little bit about yourself and introduce and maybe talk about how motivation has been either like a positive or a struggle for you?
Yeah, just the struggle. So I'm again Momma Sammu. I am a cosplayer. I have been cosplaying for 13 years now.
Ooh.
Yeah, 13 years or something.
No wonder you're so
and
awesome.
I have been competing for about 5 or 6. I have competed alongside Pannon and Mercedes. I was Mifa with them, and it was an honor.
Yay!
I freaking
Princess
loved it.
Mifa.
Yes. I was like standing in the middle of these two, and I was just like, I get to cosplay with my idols.
Right? I was like, I'm cosplaying with senpais. So yeah, I am gearing up for competing at EC3. In fact, I got to get my submission in tonight.
Do it.
So yeah, I do competitive cosplays.
Actually, before you get too far, tell us about what that competition is, because that one's a pretty big one, right?
Yeah, that one is a pretty big one. So at Emerald City Comic Con, they hold the Western Championships of Cosplay, or the preliminaries for choosing the Western representative. And the Crown Championships of Cosplay is an international competition held by ReedPop. And it pulls in competitors from, at the very least, Australia, a couple places in Europe, and I think India.
Nice.
Ooh.
So they all come in to C2E2. All of the preliminaries come in and they compete against each other for a big overall crown. Last year, the winner was a beautiful astrologian by Jackie Make Stuff. The US. Woohoo!
Yay!
Taking it home. And then it's a huge competition, and I've competed at the preliminaries a couple times. I've taken home 1 award in my division, second place in my division, and would really love to represent the Pacific Northwest or the West Coast in this competition. And
that would be awesome.
Oh man, you'd be amazing.
I'm crossing my fingers. I got a lot more work to do on Anastasia to make her worthy.
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Ooh.
Do they stream that contest at all?
I'm not sure. I want to say there was somewhere they were streaming it, but also they posted the results real fast.
They were streaming it live on Sci-Fi.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Sci-Fi online, like the TV station Sci-Fi. So I learned that in the green room.
No pressure.
No pressure. But hey, I could tell my parents, hey, if you want to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Well, it's good to have you with us and talking about how to stay motivated. I kind of thought the first step, like, we talked about this a little bit with last week's episode about mental health and things like that. I think the first step always seems to be, like, recognize that a problem actually exists. And I thought our our listener who wrote in, Crafted Cosplay, that was her name. I thought Crafted Cosplay had a really good point in that it can really get you down to like compare yourself too much to other people.
Very much so.
Definitely.
Especially like if you're like scrolling through like Instagram or Facebook and you're seeing all these photos go by and you see them like other people have made the one that you've made and you're just like, oh.
Yeah. But some of the other ones I wrote down were are deterrents and things that will kind of suck your motivation away. It can be as simple as energy, just not physically or mentally. It's not going to happen. It can be like, for me, it's deadline. If I don't have a deadline, I don't usually like get that, I need to work on this. So I'm just going to randomly work on this unless I have like, even if I'm not like for sure gonna finish in time for whatever competition, it's at least a deadline of if I get it done in time, I can participate in this one.
Yeah, having a deadline can help. It can also like for me it's mixed. Like having a deadline can help me get it done, but having a deadline also stresses me the F out.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Another thing can be if you're working with new material, you had to learn a new skill, or you just don't feel like you have enough experience. For like, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I still will like start on a project and be like, oh, I haven't done this stuff in like a decade. I don't know if I want to dive back in right away. I'm gonna go look some stuff up, and then I just never do.
Yeah.
Or when you're making something that is, this is something I can totally make easily, no problem, but you end up standing over the fabric, staring at it, going, what am I doing? Me last night, literally.
Yeah. But also what Crafted Cosplay mentioned, which is cosplay doubles or feeling like someone else has done it better, can be something that saps your motivation. Is like, I was really excited because I haven't seen anyone do this project, and then you see someone do a really bang up job, and that can be a little bit demotivating.
That's how I'm feeling about Samus right now.
Yeah, that's
because like the new Smash Bros came out, and like someone has already made a Dark Samus, and it's like legit. Like this person's like jumping in this costume. Like they have such good mobility in it.
That is awesome.
And like that's not the suit that I want to make, but I've seen like other people in this group that I'm following making the suit that I want to make, and I'm like, I feel so behind. They're probably gonna do it better than me because they have access to all these tools, and like I totally get that. Like that feeling.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And the last one I had is just general anxiety over will it be good enough, or will it be done in time, but will it be good enough? Or can I even
do this?
Yeah, like do I need to even bother? Am I going to be happy with it when it's finished? Is it going to be good enough?
Is it worth finishing?
Yeah.
Which are questions that we've all asked ourselves about our favorite costumes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, what it comes down to is like solving a lot of these problems with it being a deterrent is like, unless I realize mentally like what's causing the issue, I will just not work on it. I will just put it aside and be like, no, it's fine. And until I actually go, I'm not doing it because of this, I need to just, do this, and it will, my attitude will change. But, being able to recognize that is kind of huge. Yeah, so I would say first is like find out what's causing the lack. And I hope some of this advice isn't like super repetitive of when we were talking about setting goals and resolutions for the new year. But like everything in cosplay, I feel like it overlaps a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the same tactics can be used for different situations.
So I just have some generalized advice, and I hope it's helpful to all y'alls. So first, set a goal and break it into small, easy-to-handle pieces. And I know every advice thing tells you this, like, every single one.
Because it works.
One, because it works, but, like, two, like, when I say break it into the smallest piece, like, I will break it into the smallest piece. So, like, looking at it, I'm like, I can't possibly not do this one thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, if my goal is, okay, I need to So, like, I need to hand stitch a line on my hem. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna break this down. It's this stitch. I need to do, like, this many inches of this stitch. So if I can do, like, 1 inch of it today, I will be 1 inch further than yesterday. And it will take me a minute to do 1 inch. So I'll be like, okay, well, I can't possibly, like, be lazy enough that I can't do 1 inch. So
I can.
So I will break it down into that small of a thing, and usually when I get started on the one little thing, I'm like, well, I'm already here, I guess I'll keep going. You know.
I'll do something similar, but with slightly larger, one step up, because I can't think in that tiny, because I can't get going unless I have a project that's going to be 3 or 4 hours me sitting down doing something.
Sure.
So I'll break it down into, what is the easiest piece of this costume to make?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a gathered skirt. I can make that really easily, really quickly, and I'll have something that's finished and cute. And hey, I can wear that normally.
Right. Right.
Like, that's a good motivator to be like, and I can wear this piece to work.
Yeah.
If it's like not like
and
a crazy, you know.
True.
Chainmail shirt. Just for the job that you want, right? I'm just kidding.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, breaking it down into stuff that's manageable, like, even if it's the smallest thing, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna cut out 1 piece, or like,
I'm gonna string this earring.
I'm gonna string on a couple of beads, or, you know, usually just that little tiny pinch of, like, well, I only have to do this much is enough to get me, like, in the right mindset.
Well, like, a great part about that is that you just need to get started, and getting started is the hardest part for a lot of, like,
Absolutely.
for everyone. And so just, like, splitting it into, like, those tiny things, like, I can just string 1 earring. The next thing you know, you've strung up both your earrings and also added all these pieces and, like, buttons and stuff, and you're like, whoa, I did a lot more than I expected.
Yep.
But yeah, it's, like, getting started part that's just the hard part.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just organization.
Yeah.
Like, I have started with, okay, I want to start this tomorrow morning. I'm going to gather my materials. I have no energy tonight. Let's gather my materials, get them on my desk so that I can just sit down and start working. And I've ended up actually crafting for an extra 2 to 3 hours into the night.
Nice.
After just getting organized. Because, like, well, I'm here. I might do a test.
Yeah.
You know, this test turned out well. Let's just keep doing it. That's how Mifa's Jewels got done all in one night.
Nice.
It actually leads into another one I wanted to mention, which is having a positive working environment, because you said something about organization. But making sure that you have a space that's clean and easy to work in. Like, sometimes just taking a day or a couple of hours to clean your workspace makes you so much more productive.
I'm gonna be like 10 months.
Or just, or just half an hour to clear off your surfaces.
Yeah.
Like, clean up the dirty clothes on the ground, get the scraps. Like, half an hour, basic clean.
Yeah, for me, like, if I feel like I'm crowded all around by stuff, it makes it really hard to get into a good mindset to actually start working on things.
So I actually reach a point when I'm like either cleaning or working on a project or, you know, anything. There's just this point where suddenly I just feel like everything is closing in on me and I have to clear it up. And if I don't take that time to, like, clear and move things, I go crazy. I get really irritable. I start snapping at people. Like, it even happens at my desk at work. Like, if it starts feeling like it's closing in on me, it's like, if I don't take 10, 20 minutes and just, like, clear stuff up, I turn into a monster. And I don't get anything done.
I've literally stopped in the middle of a seam and just gone, because, like, the act of the fabric bumped off something off my table. I've stopped in the middle of a scene, put my needle down and gone, all right, I need to clean up a minute.
No.
I need to deal with this right now.
And it's like, I can continue, like, with this mess around. Like, I could technically continue and keep working on stuff, but it's just like my mind just, like, hits this wall.
Can't.
And it's just like, nope.
Yeah,
you're stuck. Everything's closing in. You're gonna panic.
Yeah. And on that note, like, not even just clean, but making sure that your working environment feels like a positive space.
Yes.
I always try to pick not just, like, favorite music or movies or whatever, but ones that I know, like, keep me in a good, happy mindset. Because, like, one of my favorite movies is Les Mis, and it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I just cry a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want to work on stuff. But if I'm watching, like, one of the Disney movies where it's, like, really upbeat and, like, ends on a, like, you know, you can do it kind of attitude, I'm like, yeah, I can do it. I can do this all day long. Be a man, yeah. Heck yeah, I will be strong and swift and all that stuff.
Raging fire, we got this.
Raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. That's me.
Oh
Heck
my
yeah.
So
gosh.
he's like, and I'm over here, like, this is why I binge watch Ponies, like My Little Pony. That is my go-to.
Sure.
There is 8 seasons of it. I don't have to think about what to watch next.
Yeah. I've recently started watching, not to, like, plug my favorite shows or anything, but, like, I recently started watching the Great British Baking Competition.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
And
happy.
Like, it's such a, like, I like stuff like Project Runway, I like stuff like Chopped because it's kind of funny and ridiculously competitive, but, like, it's really nice to watch something where it's, like, a wholesome competition where the, like, competitors are actually, like,
You can feel the love in the room.
nice to each other, and they're like, oh dear, are you not finished? I'm going to help you put this on the plate and pull that out of the oven for you. I'm like, oh, this is so good. It makes me feel happy.
That is a positive work environment.
Yeah. So even just, like, being mindful of what you're picking as your surroundings, and if that can, like, not to be like, oh, good vibes only or anything like that, because, like, sometimes you have to, like, angry sew to some hardcore death metal. Sometimes you do.
Sewing. Rock, yeah, death metal sewing.
It's great.
But sometimes, like, if you get too much into that mindset, it can also be really hard to bounce back, you know?
Yeah. So I actually have, especially when I'm in Con Crunch, I've got one, like, essentially CD that I know will help me stay up for another hour or two if I play it.
Yeah.
Because it's, and I only save it for those, like, super, like, moments where I really need it. Because I like singing when I work. This
Heck
is
yeah.
why.
Yes.
Because you're a Disney princess, Mercedes.
No.
Yes.
Join the club.
I don't sing good. I like singing.
Do it anyway. Do it
So-
anyway.
So I'll put on, like, stuff that I like to sing to, and there's this one CD that I'll put on that when I just need that extra hour or two where it's like, I know I'm tired, but I know if I put this on, it's going to get me excited again, and it'll keep me up through that entire CD. And it's super ridiculous, but it's Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Beethoven's Last Night. It's amazing.
Yes.
That is awesome.
It's got all my favorites on there.
Yes.
At this point, if I need to keep going, I'll put on Hamilton.
Oh,
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
I am not throwing away my shot as soon as that comes on. I am sewing like a mad
Oh
woman.
my gosh, that's been me with The Greatest Showman.
Yes. I think I overdid that one. I will, when it comes on, I will still belt it out, but I can't do the whole thing through because I did it for like 6 months straight leading up to Kumo, preparing for the lip sync.
Oh. But yeah, having stuff that you're excited about, it, like, I feel like you get those positive adrenaline, like, endorphins and stuff that you're like, oh, I really like this song. And that kind of translates into, like, your work as well. So yeah. So my next point I had was, if it's a tough goal, like, set a reward. Sometimes just finishing it isn't going to be enough to motivate you, but a reward can help. I don't know, for me, like, I don't want to set breaks as a reward or whatever. Like, set something, like, tangible. Set something that is actually a treat for yourself. Like, I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant when I'm done with this. Or I'm going to go see this movie I've been wanting to see. Or I'm going to give myself $5 extra in the dealer's hall. You know.
Whatever motivates you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, sometimes just finishing it, like, it just, you're like, yeah, it'll be done, I guess. But, you know, and even if it's something dumb and silly, like, yeah.
So I like video games as a reward, just because, like, I don't get a ton of time to play them with work and a couple of things going on in my life right now. So, like, this past weekend, I was like, if I unpack all of the kitchen stuff, I can hook up the PS4, which I also have to do anyways, and I can play it. I still have, I've done the kitchen stuff. I still need to actually pull out the PS4 and hook it up, but that's because people are having a party.
Yeah.
But, like, I set rewards like that because, like, oh yeah, if I can just do this, I can go and play Skyrim for an hour or something like that. Like, I like that because those games just give me such a happy feeling. If it's a game that, like, I know I've been stuck on, I'll avoid those because it's like, I want something positive.
Yeah.
Like, I rage quit Metroid the other day.
Oh no!
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably gonna rage quit KH3.
Yeah.
Shortly after this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil anything from Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm just going to say my rage word is crabs. Crabs. And leave it at that.
Crabs.
Anyway.
When I play, I'll find out.
Yep.
Be like, sometimes I know that for some people it takes a bigger goal. Like, you know, oh, I play video games every day. That's not enough of a goal for me. Like maybe if you have a big costume that you are trying to get done and you need a bigger goal, I'll use, like, if I get this costume done, I will attend this convention. Like, I won't attend this convention if I don't finish the costume.
Ooh. Okay.
I've had that as a thing. Or I'm self-employed now and I do Twitch streaming. So if I finish a big costume, I'll take a week off from streamings and have a real vacation.
Yay.
Because I don't do those. Like, nice. That kind of goal. Like, sometimes a big goal, a big reward is needed.
I like that.
Self-care rewards are the best.
Yeah. I was gonna, I actually have that as a point to mention as self-care. So it kind of goes with the, like, physical and mental wear. Like, are you taking breaks? Are you, like, this seems silly, but, like, are you using the right tools for the job? Because, like, there are a lot of cosplay tools, and sometimes, like, doing it by hand is one way, but, like, you can make your life a whole lot easier if you have a good tool. And, like, wear and tear on your wrists or fingers or something less if you get the right tools.
Yes.
Are you feeding yourself and taking time to shower, to
Drink
sleep?
water!
Drink water!
I always forget that. I also forget to eat.
Bad.
Also to be social or to not be social, whichever one recharges you most, but, like, taking time to do those things. Like, for me, if I get too much into working on stuff and I don't, like, come up for air to, like, see friends, I get mega depressed. Like, I will get in a super bad funk. So I have to, like, make sure that I take time and accept, you know, friends' invites to go do things.
It's like, yes, you can leave the house.
You can leave
even if you still have cosplay to finish.
It is allowed.
You're allowed to leave the house.
And just having that, knowing that I get to, like, see people or do something fun with friends is enough to, like, motivate me to, oh, I just have to keep working for one more hour and then I get to go see someone, you know? And that may not work for everybody if you're more introverted. I mean, I feel like I am kind of introverted a lot, but also I still like to see people once in a while.
Ambivert.
Huh? Ambivert.
Enjoy people, but recharge on your own.
Yeah. So like, for some people it's going to be video games or reading a book or, you know, just not thinking about cosplay for a while and petting your cat.
Yeah.
Go for a hike. Like,
yeah.
if you have a place you can hike at, like, that's also fun. I cannot wait for warmer weather so I can do that.
Yes. So find out what your recharge button is or where to plug in to get recharged. And do that. And
have multiple versions of it. Like,
yeah.
Not always do video games actually recharge me. I have to be like, okay, this isn't doing it for me, and I go find something else.
The next one is kind of leads in from that, but asking for help. If you are inexperienced or not understanding how something works is what's keeping you from working on it, it's okay to reach out and ask for help.
You see, this is why my new chic is not done, because I'm too scared to figure out how to do satin stitching on my sewing machine.
Oh no, Mercedes! Dang it! If you were close, I would come over there and I would satin stitch with you all day.
I will reach out. I will ask for help. I will do the thing.
Good. But yeah, asking for help, like, sometimes just, like, getting good advice or getting to do stuff with friends or having... For me, I learn the very best when I am actually shown how to do it, like hands-on. It sticks with me way better than having someone try to explain it via audio or even with pictures. Like, if I'm watching somebody do it, I'm like, oh, duh, of course that's how you do it. I get it. And also, when you are working with others, this is another thing that may or may not work depending on, like, if being around other people is what gives you a social charge or not. But working in groups can really help you kind of like feed off the energy and excitement of projects. I'm out here in Portland visiting Sam for the weekend, and we've literally done nothing but work on cosplay and play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. It's just kind of back and forth.
But, like, I've gotten, like, 30 things cut out, and I've got halfway through Gerudo Link, and,
I've got half a commission finished, and I've got a few things of my own on the way.
I feel like we've been really industrious, and we've gotten to see each other, so it's kind of, like, both things.
See, I'm kind of a little opposite of that. Like, if I'm doing a group thing, I have to plan ahead. I have to limit myself to something smaller.
Sure.
Because I get so absorbed into what I'm doing, which is really interesting because focusing is not a great thing I do. But when it comes to crafting, I super focus on it, and if somebody says something to me, it goes into a queue.
I remember this.
Yes.
Filter through later.
It goes into a queue, and you gotta wait like a couple seconds before I respond to you. So don't, like, people think I ignore them. I'm not. I promise I'm not. It's going through. It'll filter through eventually.
Processing.
It'll go ding, and I'll be like, yeah, this thing.
Same way.
But, like,
same thing.
Yeah, I always feel like I come off as rude when I'm in group stuff, but it's like, I am there.
Yeah.
But it's usually just best to, like, let me be in my corner and do my thing. And I'll, like, contribute to the conversation now and then. But yeah, I just get so hyper-focused that it's hard to actually focus on other people for me.
Yeah. So the thing with doubles, I wanted to kind of talk about, like, this is a really hard one, I feel like,
I have so much to say on
go
this
over.
one.
Yeah,
Good.
things to say, yes.
But, like, I feel like, at least for me, like, I kept thinking about this one and being like, there's so much that's just saying, like, advice and, like, try not to think blank. And that's definitely a thing, but, you know, it can be really hard to put into practice. So,
it's
like,
hard to get your brain to listen.
It is hard to get your brain to listen sometimes.
It's incredibly hard. Like, I've even finished my Aloy cosplay, and I still, like, whenever somebody comes, like, post a picture of the same outfit on Instagram, I get those twinges of, like, oh my gosh, they did it better, or they did this better, or I really love that, and it's like, oh, I'm garbage, you know? And it's really hard. Like, there's you know, people say, oh yeah, try not to think that way. It's difficult. It's not something that, like,
especially there's anybody who's been cosplaying for a really like 10 plus years or even 8 at this point. Back when they had more, there were a lot of cosplayers who were, this cosplayer is known as the face of this character.
Yeah,
like it was there was a culture of there being, this is the face cosplayer.
Yeah, people called me Xerxes Break for forever.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, this person is the Edward Elric. And so there was some of that, I know, when I was started cosplaying, and it's crap. It's
rough.
It's like, rough, and it's...
But for me, like, the thing you have to... I'm not saying you have to. The thing I had to remember was that even if someone else has made a costume, no one's going to make it exactly how you do. No one's going to have the exact same interpretation or a unique flair that you bring to it. And I know that's a huge ask to try to think that way, but, like, you look at like Renaissance painters and things like that, and, like, they had the same subjects and they all interpreted it differently, and they all had a beautiful vision of what they saw. And no one would look at it and go, this is art and this isn't. They're all still beautiful works of art.
Exactly.
So just appreciating that no one's going to do it the way you will.
And also, I've noticed that the more I have cosplayed, the more I've realized that you can appreciate a cosplay for how it's different from, like, how, okay, this one is super awesome because it's accurate. This one's awesome because they took their own creative liberties. This one's awesome because it was their first cosplay and they learned something new. Like, I cosplay Belle. I cosplay like princesses. There are a million of us.
Yeah.
But it's like comparing yourself to everyone else. It gets rough, and it's hard to not do.
It's something that our brains just kind of automatically do too. It's like you see something and you automatically start making comparisons, and it's a hard thing to like be like, oh, just don't think that. It never really goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
there's a better way to look at it. Like if you see someone's cosplay that you like that's the same character as you or something you're planning, maybe look at it and say, why do you like it better?
Yeah.
Is there something that you could learn from their build to improve your own?
Yes.
Definitely.
Instead of seeing, oh, I can't be that good, see, can I get there?
Yeah.
And one thing that I love to do, I love finding, like, I still get that, like, twinge. Again, that never goes away, but I love finding other people who've cosplayed the same character. Especially, like, during the research stages. I asked a bunch of people how they made their Zora armor.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did you make it? What materials did you use? And I just got all these different ideas from them. Everybody makes that armor differently, and I love that. And I started looking at it and being like, okay, what are the hardest parts? What were the hardest parts for you guys to build? And I started getting answers back for that. And for a lot of people, it was his vest, his scale leather vest. And the problems that they would run into is that they would a lot of the people that I asked would do individual scales for his vest. And that killed their mobility. And I was like, oh, but I still want to be able to move around. So I decided to do carved-in scales on a thin leather rather than just, like, adding each individual scale on there. And that helped me keep the mobility that I wanted to have. And it still looked really good. It helped give me an idea of something different to try.
Yeah.
And there are still problems with my outfit. Like,
exactly.
Like if somebody were to ask me what was the hardest part from me building the Zora armor, those leather chaps things, I hate them.
I remember having to pull those up throughout the day.
Oh my gosh, they're always falling down, and I have some ideas on how to fix that, but like, there's like a lot I want to remake on it. And then I got
it led to some very funny, like, images of Mifa just like, excuse me, like, I'm just gonna get right up in here.
Yeah. One of the things, I don't know, for me it feels different when you're actually there in person at a convention versus seeing someone's stuff online.
Yes.
Because like I've cosplayed some characters who are really popular, like Princess Serenity, Sailor Moon. If you go to a con, you're going to see like 5 Princess Serenities and Sailor Moons, and like I had, like, you can never get rid of like that initial twinge, like Mercedes is talking about, but like it's on you if you want to change your mindset after that thought. Like, it's on you to be like, okay, I know that I felt that way, but what am I going to do about it? Am I going to take that and be negative, or am I going to take that and be like, okay, that I'm not going to listen to that and I'm going to go have fun anyway?
It's that whole, the first thought that comes into your head is not you. It's just the initial reaction. It doesn't define you. How you react afterwards.
That does not make you a monster or a bad person to have thought that.
How you act on those thoughts is what defines you.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I have had so much fun when I've been in Princess Serenity, going to see other Princess Serenities and being like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. We both love the same character. And realizing that, like, the passion that I had for the character, building it, the love I had for that character is just as apparent with this other person as it was with me. They love the same thing. They are excited and passionate and just love this character just as much as I do. And I found it's so much better. I don't know,
so much easier to make friends with your twins. Than
it's so much easier.
Hey, this part on this, wasn't that just a pain to make? And they're like, yeah.
Or like, how did you interpret this? It was really unclear in the drawing references, and I don't know, like, did you see it as this or as this? And, you know,
where did you get your wig? Mine keeps matting up. That's great.
So, you guys want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
Always.
So when I was cosplaying Xerxes Break, it's a Pandora Hearts, he's a Mad Hatter. Because you probably heard me talk about him before, because he's one of my favorite characters to cosplay.
Just a little.
Just a little. He's so stupid. I love him. Anyways, so first convention that I wore him to, we actually had a Pandora Hearts gathering, and at the gathering there ended up being 2 Mad Hatters, which was awesome. We both took turns like in different photos and whatnot, and then like we were like goofing off with each other and just like making jokes and stuff, and then we're like, ooh, we have an idea. So we started taking ship photos together, and we're like, Xerxes break, he's so hot he gets shipped with himself.
Good. I ship it.
Nice.
It was so much fun. So it's like, just have fun with it. And I love like doubles pictures like that where you're like, yeah, we're the same character. Let's do something dumb together. Yes.
Exactly.
Can I say something about it? Like, I've recently gotten into the Critical Role fandom, and I intend to cosplay Jester. And one of her things is she duplicates herself. And so it is a canon thing to run into other people, and whenever I'm in costume as a character and I see someone else dressed as the character, it is a 50-50 chance that I'm going to scream across the convention hall and yell, "Hey, I love you, Twinsy!" I've made some of my best friends that way.
Mine is finger guns. I'll like make eye contact and then like finger guns away and be like, "Hey, I see you."
Finger guns are the best.
When I was at Bonsai, I did Prompto from 15, and like every time I saw another Prompto, I was just like, "Hey, finger guns."
Or Bouette at ALA. It's just like, I would just be like, "Boo," up to them, or any et.
Yes. But even though like you have that initial like negative feeling, like every time I've made like pushed myself to be positive and pushed myself to be like, to think like, yes, they love this thing as much as you do, I end up having so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll see people's, like, when you make eye contact and you have that initial, like, reaction, if you're smiling at them, they're gonna smile back at you.
And then they're going to feed off each other.
You're gonna feed off each other's energy and be like, "Oh, this is my favorite character too. Oh my gosh, you did this. This is so cool."
And this is how you do an 8-hour con and think it's only been 2 hours.
And I feel like online you don't necessarily get that as much. You just have this,
Perfect
static image that, you never know how much behind the scenes went on to make it. You never know how much Photoshop went on in it. You never know, how many
work
safety
got
pins
put
are in
our
safety pins or whatever. We always try to put our best front forward, but it's easy to tear yourself down over a photo, and instead of like getting excited when you're there in person. I mean, at least that's for me. But like,
and if you find that those feelings are getting overwhelming, like every time you see that same thing come up, like for me for a while, is every time an Aloy cosplay popped up in my feed, I would just get that. It just is overwhelming, and I wanted it to go away. And so what I did is I just took a break from like looking at Instagram. I still like posted stuff, but I wouldn't do the scrolling thing. I wouldn't go through and look at stuff. And that helps a lot. Now I can go back, and now when I see other Aloy cosplays, I don't get that twinge. I get excited again. And
good. Yeah, good.
So taking a break from social media is not a bad idea.
Yeah, for sure. Did we cover that part pretty well? I feel like we went over that pretty good.
Yep.
One of the next points I had is looking at the big picture. So what is your goal? What's the reason you're doing it? And if the end goal doesn't justify how much suffering you're doing, maybe you need to move on.
Oh my gosh, yes, this one.
Suffering. I have like a lot of, like, when I was moving, one of the biggest things was I threw away a lot of costumes that were halfway finished because I had no motivation for them. My motivation was at 0.
My cosplay
and it had been like
never gonna come back.
Probably a year or 2 since I had worked on stuff, and I'm like, I'm never gonna come back to this. I'm sorry, costume, but I just can't. Like for a while, I really wanted to do Crom from Fire Emblem, and because he is best husband. I will fight people. He is best husband in Fire Emblem Awakening. But I really wanted to make that costume, and I had, like, this is going to sound dumb, but for me, like, I had all his fabric and stuff in my car when I got into my really bad car accident. My car got totaled. Half my stuff ended up with blood all over it. And it was a reminder of that bad happening.
Yeah.
And so like every time I would get like, oh, I should work on that. I spent so much on the fabric. It's cut out. I just need to sew it together. And I couldn't, like, emotionally, I could not get over that. And it took a lot for me to just go, it was a big investment, but it's worth more to my emotional and physical health to just, move on. So yeah. being able to drop something if it's not like I know the Marie Kondo stuff is like
if it doesn't bring
over.
you joy,
like if it isn't sparking your joy, like literally if it's drudgery, like you don't have to do it. You can
if you look at the pieces and go, if that's your initial reaction, it's time to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I still have to do that.
You can sell the unfinished piece if it's not cut out yet. You can use the fabric for something else. You can gift it to someone and be like, hey, this is cut out. You just need to sew it together. But, like, don't push things on yourself that aren't making you happy. Like, just...
And that goes for if you are in a group who's doing a certain cosplay, and maybe you join the group because you want to do stuff with friends, and it's just dragging along. I've been in that situation before where you don't feel joy for the group anymore or something like that. And I've found out that sometimes when you tell your friends that you're not feeling great about it, they'll go, "Oh my gosh, I wasn't either." Thank goodness, we don't.
Yes.
Or can we do this next year? If something is stressing you out and you feel I don't want to do this, but I feel the need to do it. Examine why you need to do it and see if you can work around that. So that's another thing that'll push us to make something that doesn't make us happy.
Right.
Very good advice. Very good advice.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends; they'll understand.
For sure. So that was my last one. Was the sparking joy? if does this bring you joy? If not,
I need to do that with my fabric stash.
because in the end, I mean, it's a hobby. You should be doing it for fun and because you enjoy it. And if it's not bringing you that happiness, like, it's okay to drop projects. It's okay to lose excitement and motivation and just, maybe you were just in it to because you needed to work on whatever it is you worked on of it. Like, maybe you just felt like satin stitching for a while. Maybe you just felt like drafting a pair of perfectly tailored pants. Maybe you just
fell in love with the character at the beginning of the game, but then they did something really dumb.
Yeah, totally. But whatever your reason, if it's not bringing you happiness, if it's not going to make you happy to cosplay it, just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Anything to add, guys?
A little motivation tip: if you're working on a big project and you're just stuck, work on a small project.
Yeah.
Find something small to work on.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I have this little casual cosplay to work on. I can do that instead of this massive ball gown.
Yes. How about you, Mercedes?
What was the question?
That's what I thought.
Super focused.
That's what I thought.
Shush. Leave her alone.
I can't see her, but she's distracted.
I did really good up until then, okay?
It's good.
Remember what I said about focusing?
Yes. On that note, should we go ahead and wrap up and move on to our horror story?
I don't even get to answer the question.
Do you have any final words for motivating or of motivation to others?
Focus better than me, that's what.
Make lists.
Sorry.
Keep them visible. I was curious because I kept asking questions and getting this dead zone back, and I'm like, I can't see Mercedes, but I feel her distraction.
Sorry.
We love you.
You want to add Mercedes?
I did so good, okay?
You did. I'm very proud of you.
Alright. Horror stories, let's do that. I think I'm good on the question.
Okay.
Focus better than me. It's okay to take breaks. Don't be like me.
Do you need a break to think of a horror story?
No, I actually have one for once,
Nice.
ready, but it's because it happened last night.
Okay, awesome. I'll let you go first.
Okay, alright, so this was fun. So speaking of projects that you've abandoned and then come back to later to take a look at them. So, one year I wanted to be part of what group was it? Sword Art Online. But the fairies,
Oh yeah.
like the fairy versions, because I don't know, I really like Asuna, and I love her fairy outfit, so I was like, I'm gonna make this.
Sure.
And I ended up like stopping halfway through because the pieces weren't turning out how I wanted, and a lot of the things just like didn't look right. I felt bad because like everyone else, I was judging at Anime Bonsai, and all the other judges were dressed as characters from
I remember this.
Yeah, everyone was dressed as Sword Art Online, and I just showed up as Sheik.
That is okay.
I could not finish mine. I felt it would have been so cool, like all of us matching, but just
it was still good. It was still fun.
It was my first time trying to make like a pleated skirt, and I wanted it to stay pleated, and I screwed that up. And then the wig, I bought 2 blue wigs and was combining them together, and the wig shrunk somehow. I think I've figured out why it shrunk, but like I couldn't fit it on my head anymore.
Oh jeez.
And then just like all these things just like it made me mad, so I just ended up putting it away and boxing it up essentially. So while I'm moving, I pulled that out. And I'm looking at like the one piece that I finished was most of like her jacket piece, and I pulled that out and I was looking at it and I was like, dang, I actually did a good job on this. I'm like looking at like the seams on it, and it's like lined, and like I was like, geez, wow, I didn't know I could do this. The collar is like super legit. I'm like, awesome. I'm like, man, I wonder like how it looks like on. So I went to go like try it on. So now, mind you, I now live in a house with 4 other people, not including my husband, so 5 other people. My husband's out of town this weekend, but like the 4 other people were upstairs. Okay, I'm downstairs, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this thing on. So I just like grab it and like quickly run over to the bathroom, like change and like go to put it on, and it won't go over my hips. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
No.
My butt's been getting bigger. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over the top. I'm like, okay, with a little bit of squeezing, I got it on. And I was like, sweet. Yeah. And so I tried zipping it up, and it wouldn't zip all the way. And I'm like standing in the bathroom wearing just this jacket thing. I don't got my pants on because the pants were in the way before. And I'm like, cool. I can't zip it up. I don't want to call anybody down to like zip this up for me because like they're not cosplayers and they already think I'm weird. They love my weirdness, at least, like to an extent, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'll just get out of it. You know, I know that it doesn't fit. You know, I've gotten bigger. Dang it. So I go to take it off, and I get stuck. And I can't quite get it over my chest. The same way that it went on. And I'm like, okay. And like, I'm like really stuck. And I'm like, everything's packed. Where are my scissors? I don't know where my scissors are, because everything is packed. Little did I know that there was a pair of scissors underneath the sink. But I forgot about that. So I'm like panicking, going, I really need a pair of scissors. I'm just gonna cut myself out of this. And I'm just like panicking. And I like quickly peek out the bathroom door to make sure no one is downstairs, because like I can't even get my pants on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like peeking out. I'm like, okay, no one's there. I quickly dash over to the project room. Can't find my scissors. So I dash into my husband's project room, and he's got like these industrial scissors laying out. And I was like, those. That'll do it. And then I quickly run back to the bathroom and I cut myself out. Yes. So, anyways, I was really impressed with my craftsmanship on that, and I had to cut it.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, that was me last night.
That's rough.
Yeah, so that is officially, I'm not going to be revisiting that costume. I thought maybe if it fit, I could revisit it. No. No.
How about you, Sammu? You got one you want to share?
Well, I have the one from ALA last year.
Okay.
That's really my best one.
Do it.
You guys were there.
Yes.
But you guys weren't aware. Until later. So this was at ALA. We were competing with Mifa, Sidon, and Link. I think that year it took about 4 or 5 hours for the whole contest.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So we had been to these costumes since noon. We've been getting into these costumes since noon.
I was gonna say, those were really hard to wear, so I had lost all sense of time by the end, honestly.
Because during the getting ready process, poor Panon had sprained her ankle.
Yeah.
Like, inside on. I literally watched the fall. It was like in slow
It was,
motion.
because she, like, half caught me and dived, and
I tried to dive, but I'm like, no, my
we're
spandex
both in giant fish heads.
my spandex is only 2-way stretch, so I couldn't stretch far enough.
Oh no.
So that's how
It
the day
slowed the fall, but...
So that's how the day started. So after that, I was taking care of Panda for the rest of the day, and then backstage, I think I took off my head most of the day. I ended up laying down on the floor because we were just
They were hard to wear.
They were hard. We managed to do the skit. I was nervous though. I was nervous the whole time, just like butterflies. Like, I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna puke. This is fine. I'm gonna puke. I didn't. We made it through, did the thing, got backstage, chilled out, and then during the awards ceremony, we were all back there, like, holding hands, heads together, because they'd gone through all of the masters, and we didn't been called for anything. And they were just like, okay. I think they had, like, a best in show, and we were just, I think, we were hopeful, but also going, we don't know.
But
and
there was, like, a lot of other really good groups that hadn't won anything that year.
Yeah.
So they called our name, and the rest is a little bit of a blur. I remember wait, they called us up for, I was like, skit or craftsmanship, and they said both. And I'm like, what? As soon as I heard the both, I just felt my stomach just start going. And it was as I saw the stairs coming up, this would lead up to the stage, just walking up one step, there it's coming up, it's 2 step, alright, nope, it's still down, okay, ribbon, and, like, I managed to get on stage for, like, 10 seconds, holding it together. I turned my back, I threw up a little bit in my mouth,
oh
slowed it back down, and turned back to take pictures. So while all of us were on stage, right before pictures, I was just like, I'm just gonna...
I'll never look at those photos the same.
I was just like, I'm so glad I didn't eat so much. I'm glad I did not eat a lot, because it would not have stayed otherwise.
All right.
But yeah, so that's both the best and worst moment on stage for me.
So,
that's beautiful.
I have a horror story about doubles.
Ooh.
that I thought was
is
fitting. So, this is from Fanime. I believe it was 2013? 2013? But anyway, Fanime. I was going to be in a Kuroshitsuji...
It is this one.
Book of Circus group. At the time, that part of the anime hadn't been animated yet. It was just in the manga, so we were like, well, odds are pretty small that anyone else is going to do the Book of Circus, at least not for Masquerade's skit, because it's not even animated, it's just in the manga, and we're doing such specific characters from it, you know. And so we were like, okay, cool. And so we had a group put together, and, you know, our group had people from all over the US, like Florida, California, Utah, all over the place. And our first rehearsal wasn't until we got at the convention center.
Ain't that familiar?
And so it was a mad dash to, like, finish everything and rehearse and all that fun stuff. And so the day of, we're going down to craftsmanship judging, and we weren't even in the same room. So, like, I knew the time was coming up. I left one of our members in the hotel room who was going to meet me down, and I just left to go meet up outside the craftsmanship judging. And I'm in such a rush. I have, like, my badge, and I'm running down the hall, and I get to the elevator, and I'm like, okay, hold the elevator, and I jump in, and I get in the elevator, and I am surrounded by people dressed as the Book of Circus. Like, I literally, like, I thought it was my group. And I look around and I'm just like, this is everybody. What?
Who are these people?
So I was just like, well, that's cool. They have a group. And so we were chatting in the elevator, like, you know, hey, cool. You like Book of Circus? Me too. And so we get out of the elevator, and there's that awkward, you know, like when you say bye, but then you go in the same direction. It's like, we get out of the elevator, and they all start walking the same direction toward craftsmanship judging, and I was like, uh-oh! and we all start going toward craftsmanship judging, and And sure enough, there was an exact Book of Circus group. I think they were only different by one member. Like, we had one of the other Shinigami, and they had one of the other circus members in the group that we didn't have. And, we go in for judging, and, like, our Joker is just, like, she's, like, not in hysterics, but she's, like, so,
Borderline?
like, surprised by it that she's just, like, it's like looking in a mirror. Hi Joker. Hi, I'm Joker. Also, yes, you are. You look great, Joker. And just kind of having this internal conversation. And we're like, it's gonna be okay. And then we're like watching the show and being like, it's okay. Like, we're just gonna do our best, and that's all we can do. And kind of got over it. And we, the way they do the Fanime show is you're actually in the audience watching the show. And also, like, then you get called up a few rows at a time to go in backstage and then do your skit. And so we're watching the show, and the other group was scheduled ahead of us. And they get on stage, and I kid you not, they pulled out a circus tent. They had a giant circus tent. They had a big fake lion.
Whoa.
And like, their skit was intense. And intense.
Ah.
But like, I remember like turning to our other friends in that row, and we're just turning to each other. Guys, they have a tent. They have a tent. Guys, they have a tent. we're gonna fail. They have a tent. But like, I mean, it turned out good. Like, our group ended up surprisingly winning Best in Show. And they also received a major award for their work. And it was funny, though, because after the show, we had some people who were, like, really salty at us. And we were like, what? And they're like, well, you guys got to perform twice. That's not fair. No, we didn't. We were two different groups.
That was beautiful.
But the follow-up funny was, I mentioned they had, like, a tiger head, lion head, something like that in their skit, like, that peeks out of the circus tent. So when we were getting back from, we had gone out to a celebratory dinner, and we were heading back to the hotel, and it was kind of late at night, and we get back to the hotel, push the elevator button, and we just see this disembodied lion head in the elevator, and we were just like, is this the Godfather? Are they sending us a message? What is going on?
It's beautiful.
And then I ended up meeting with Sumikins like a full year later, and being like, yeah, this happened. And she turns to me and she goes, that was my group. I was Beast, and that was our tiger's head. We wondered where it went, and I was just like, what? And she was like, what? So that was fun.
And after all of that, now
we are good friends.
Yay!
It was because I actually know the group. Like I knew of the group. They're a local Portland group at the time, so I knew of that group. I'd seen, that's the only costumes I'd ever seen of the circus. And I think I heard about this story from the other side at one point. I did not know you yet, though.
But yeah, that's my double story. So
that's so amazing.
I feel like it will probably never be as bad as that, guys. So please don't worry.
And then there's random thing with the ALA Masquerade. There was all kinds of Zelda characters, no duplicates.
Oh yeah,
not a single duplicate. There were like 7 or 8 Zelda groups,
and they were all different.
Mind blowing.
So that's been our horror stories, guys. If you have one you want to share, or a positive story, something fun, or just a topic you want us to cover, like Crafted Cosplay did, go ahead and email us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com, or
you can go to the website, www.cosplaystitchandseam.com.
Or you can go to the Facebook group.
Yeah. Also, I finally came up with an answer to your question because my brain's working again.
Oh,
Yay, brain.
Okay.
So here's my closing advice on like motivation and whatnot.
Hit me.
You can do it, and don't be me, be you. Even though we may be cosplaying the same characters, there's a little bit of you and there's a little bit of me in each of our costumes, and that's what makes them unique. And that is why you should love your cosplay.
Don't be me, be you. I like that. I like it. Once again, if you want to help out our podcast, you can donate on Ko-fi at Ko-fi4 Cosplay Seams. Next week, our guest is actually going to be Twinsic Cosplay, Hopi and Hee. So if you have any questions for them, let us know. We should have a thread running in the Facebook group if you want to ask them questions.
Yeah, or you can email questions in if you'd like.
Yes, for sure. As always, our amazing audio recording and editing is done by David Jeffres of Comic Trades Monthly and Dungeons & Chill.
Woo!
Do you want to take a sec and tell us what you guys are going to be doing in the next few podcasts?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, let me put you on the spot.
Oh, no. Oh, dear Lord, no.
Your turn.
Torture. Okay. So we just got finished reading Deadpool Bad Blood for the Comic Trades Monthly. Next month we are going to be reading the Preacher comic from based from the. That's, oh my gosh, I can't talk. I'm so sorry, you guys. You put me on the spot, Pan, and I don't like this.
You see how I feel?
So mean.
The AMC TV series Preacher, we're reading the comic that it's getting its information from, and on Dungeons & Chill, we're actually getting up close to wrapping up our Forest of Hikai story arc, so now is a really great time to jump on, get caught up on that, and then we will be starting a new one, and I guess this is as good as any time to announce it. I'm working on I'm calling it the Guild Rats, and it's going to be all thieves-based, and it's all going to be in the same city of Byron. For those of you who are listening and listening to Dungeons & Chill, that's, it'll be a fun little upheaval story that I'm working on right now. So
very cool.
Sounds fun.
Thank you for putting me on the spot, Pannon.
Yeah, no. Thank you for always putting up with our audio recording and editing all of our mess-ups and all that fun stuff.
Especially mine. And then you add them in at the end as bloopers. I love it.
And always our music is
by Macy Roberts.
So thank you for our intro and outro and all that fun stuff. You guys ready for the pun for the week?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
I'm never ready.
So the best way to get motivated is to have a cup of positivity. My favorite flavor is encouragement.
No.
Boo. Grown. Boo hiss. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Yay.